Estimating products of whole numbers. Before beginning our lesson, let's discuss some properties of multiplying whole numbers that you may or may not have recognized. Here I have 4 multiplication problems. They are similar in that they each have one non-zero digit in each of the numbers followed by some number of zeros. Our first example is 300 times 7. So if we were to work this out, 300 times 7, you would have 7 times 0, which is 0, 7 times 0, which is 0, and then 7 times 3, which is 21. So our final answer to this multiplication problem would be 2,100. Now that is an interesting solution because you see here we have a 3 and a 7 as our non-zero digits, and 3 times 7 is 21, and then we have 2 zeros ending our 300 there, and we have 2 zeros also in our product. Let's see if we see a trend. Example 2 is 20 times 60. If you were to work it out, you have 0 times 0, which is 0, 0 times 2, which is 0. Go on to the second digit 6. Remember your placeholder 0. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 2 is 12. Add the 2. 0, 0, 2, 1. And so our final product is 1,200. Okay, here again you find 2 times 6 is 12, and then between the two numbers we have 2 zeros, and in our product we also had 2 zeros. Problem 3, we have 4,000 times 20. 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 0 is 0, and 0 times 4 is, again, 0. Placeholder 0, 2 times 0, 2 times 0, 2 times 0, 2 times 4 is 8. Add it together, and you get 80,000. If you look at the two non-zero digits, we have a 4 and a 2. Multiplied gives us 8. And between the two numbers, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, and we have 4 zeros in our product. Example 4, 700 times 800. Multiply the zeros out. 0 times 0, 0 times 0, 0 times 7. Placeholder, 0 times 0, 0 times 0, 0 times 7. 2 placeholders. 8 times 0, 8 times 0, 8 times 7, which is 56. Add them together. 0, 0, 0, 0, 6, 5. And that gives us an ultimate answer of 560,000. And then if we want to look at our pattern again, we have 7 times 8 gives us that 56. And then if you look between the two numbers, 1, 2 zeros, 3, 4 total, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros in our product. So in conclusion, rather than having to do all of this crazy multiplication, if we multiply the two non-zero digits, 7 times 8, which is 56, and then just tack on to the end of that the number of zeros that are present in both numbers, in this case it's 4, we will have the same product as if we had multiplied the entire thing out. Now let's apply this to estimating products. The idea behind estimating is to determine what the answer should be around. Approximately what would your answer be without actually solving the problem itself. There are many different ways to estimate. The way that we're going to use today is we're going to estimate by rounding using the pattern that we identified on the last slide. Example 1, we have 19 times 2. Now what we would like to do is we would like to see two numbers that we can easily multiply and use the trick that we saw on the last slide. So we would like to have one non-zero digit in each number and then that followed by zeros. So we're going to do some rounding here for 19. Now 2 already is just one digit. It has nothing following it. It's really easy to work with. So we're just going to leave 2 alone. But we're going to round 19 so that it has one non-zero digit. So we're gonna underline the largest place value there, which is the tens place. And we're going to change all of the digits to the right to zeros. But before we do that, we need to round this number to that biggest place value. Now, if we look to the right, we have a 9 in the ones place. We know that if it is 5 or higher, the number is going to round up and 1 is going to become 1 larger. So 1 is going to become 2, and we turn 9 into a 0, so it is now 20. And if you think about it, 19 is very close to 20. Multiply the two numbers, and we can use that little trick we talked about. 2 times 2 is 4, and then we have exactly 1 0 between the two numbers, so our estimate would be about 40. And a little side note for you, if you ever see a symbol that is like a wiggly equal sign, that means approximately. So 40 here, you know, I tried to draw that symbol here. 40 is not the solution to 19 times 2, but it is close. So I'm going to use this symbol rather than an equal sign. Example 2. All right, now both of these numbers are two-digit numbers, and our goal is to have one non-zero in each of these and then the rest zeros. So we are going to round each number to its largest place value. So here in 51, the largest place value is the tens place. We look to the right, it is a 1. So we are not going to round 5 up, it's going to remain a 5, and 1 becomes a 0. So 51 rounded to the nearest 10 is 50. 11, we have a 1 in the tens place, that is the largest place value present. Look to the right, it's a 1. 11 will not round up, it will remain a 1. Change the second one to a 0, and we're going to multiply. 5 times 1 is 5, and then between the two numbers we have 1, 2 zeros, so we're going to tack on 2 zeros. Our estimate in this problem, so squiggly little equal sign, approximately 500 is example 3, 892 times 7. Here we have a three-digit number. The largest place value is the 8 in the hundreds place, so we're going to round to the hundreds place. Look to the right, it is a 9. 5 and above we round up, so 892 will become 900. 7 is a one-digit number, and so we don't have to worry about rounding 7 because we already have one non-zero digit. So we're going to do 900 times 7. 9 times 7 is 63, followed by the 2 zeros. And so our estimate is 6,300. Okay, remember if we see a problem like this, the parentheses with a number switched next to it means multiplication. So here we have 64 times 555. We're going to round each of these numbers. If you look at 64, the largest place value is the tens place. Rounding, 4 is smaller than 5, so 6 is going to remain a 6, followed by a 0, so 64 rounds to 60, times 555. We got to round that guy. So the largest place value in this number is the hundreds place. Look to the right. It is a 5 or greater, so 5 will become a 6, followed by 2 zeros. So we have 60 times 600. 6 times 6 is 36. We have 1, 2, 3 zeros, so 1, 2, 3. Put your comma in. Our estimate is approximately 36,000 will be the product of these two numbers. Try these three problems on your own. I would like you to estimate each of these using the process we have been using. When you are finished, hit play again, and I will go through each of the problems and you can check your work. Problem 1. We have 268 times 13. Our goal is to have one non-zero digit, so in the first number, 268, the largest place value is the hundreds place, so we are going to round to that place value. Look to the right, it is a 6. 5 and higher, we round up, so 2 will become a 3, and the other two digits will be zeros. The second number is 13. The largest place value in that number is the tens place. Look to the right, 13 is going to round to 10. Now, we don't have to actually go through all of this multiplying. We know our little shortcut. 3 times 1 is 3. And then between the two numbers, we have 1, 2, 3 zeros. So we're going to put 3 zeros after the 3. And our estimate is approximately 3,000. Problem 2, 81 times 87. The largest place value in 81 is the tens place. Look to the right, that will become 80. The largest place value in 87 is also the tens place. Look to the right, it is a 7. We will round 8 up to a 9 and it becomes 90. Multiply the two numbers. 8 times 9 is 72. And between the two numbers I have 1, 2 zeros, so I will put 2 zeros. My estimate is 7,200. And problem 3, we have 6,997 times 2. 2 we will leave alone because it already has only one non-zero digit, but we need to round 6,997. The largest place value in that number is the thousands place. We look to the right. 6 will round up to a 7, making that number 7,000, and we have 7,000 times 2. 2 times 7 is 14, and we have 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. And 6,997 times 2 will be somewhere around 14,000. And you're all done.